about the Society of Pius X, it's truly not schismatic in no way.
Bienvenidos y gracias por escuchar Verdad en la Red. Hay muchas personas que critican, e inclusive algunos que criticaban a la fraternidad sacerdotal de San Pío X y la tildaban de cismática. Inclusive la prensa elitesca católica, que ahora se ven en la necesidad de guardar los retratos que tenían con aquellos que consideraban tan correctos en la fe, como es el caso de este periodista. Pero es admirable la humildad que presentan al permitir que la verdad salga. Nosotros aquí no somos expertos en lenguaje corporal, pero es muy obvio la expresión de tristeza que presentan algunos, como este, al comprender que como que no estaban en lo correcto, no tenían 100% la veracidad de los sucesos. En esta entrevista que le hacen a Monseñor Schneider se aclaran muchas cosas con respecto a la fraternidad sacerdotal de San Pío X.
About the Society of Pius X, it's truly not schismatic in no way. This is simply not true, or if someone is saying this, it's a very narrow legalistic view of the reality of the church in which we are now. Such a view is putting the letter of the canon law above the importance, the primary importance of the fullness of the Catholic faith and of the traditional liturgy. This is above a pure letter of a canon in the code of canon law. And the concept of schism is also not clarified, not yet good. We have to clarify this concept also, because one can have a very narrow view of schism and a broader view. And all these terms are subordinated to the greatest law in Code of Canon Law, which is the salvation of souls, is the greatest law. And so we have to look this. Schism is only traditionally in the first centuries, in the first millennium, when there was a concrete intent of a bishop, of a priest, to build up his own parallel church, not naming more the Pope, refusing any connection with the Pope. It's not only the question of subordination, it is the question of the will to desire to have canonical community with the Pope. And this is expressed firstly in the Holy Mass, when a priest and a bishop is naming the Pope, the current Pope, in the canon in the Eucharist, because the Holy Eucharist is the greatest expression of the unity in the Church. Also naming the all local bishop, and the Society of Pius X is doing this always, and even publicly praying and chanting for the Pope Francis. And so those people who are saying that they are schismatics, I would wish to them to visit at least the seminaries of the Society of Pius X. I would wish that they visit the big parishes, the great parishes, and the lay people, the families, the youth of the Society of Pius X, and they will be moved by their true, authentic Catholic faith, and by their respect for the Pope Francis, for the local bishop. You will be moved by this. And after you have visited them, in my case, I was one of the visitators 6 years ago, sent by the Holy See, you will not be able to say they are schismatics. And then another aspect we have to take into account. Pope Francis granted ordinary faculties of confession, habitual, ordinary, universal faculties of confession to the priests of the Society of Pius X. How the Roman Pontiff could grant such faculties, which is a jurisdictional faculty, to a schismatic priest, it is a contradiction against the canon law. These acts of the Roman pontiff, it's declaring them de facto, implicitly, they are not schismatics, but they could not be schismatic priests doing such acts of jurisdiction. And I repeat, by their own intentions and facts, they are not schismatics, because the situation of the crisis of the church is so extraordinary. It is so an emergency situation that the temporary, unregularized situation of the Society of Pius X is justified temporarily. And they all desire so much, and Archbishop Lefebvre I desired deeply to be full recognized by the Holy See. This was their only desire, and this desire continues, and this matters. And because of the presence of this desire to be fully under the control of the Holy See, which they always had, Archbishop Lefebvre and I assume the superiors of the society today,